What's up, guys? Stas here. So I might be a little bit late on this. It is what it is, but here we are. We're going to break down Apple's earnings in this video and go over the charts, what's going on with the stock, the numbers, all that good stuff. And of course, we're going to go over what I'm looking to do. Am I buying Apple, selling it, holding it? What am I doing, guys? So if y'all find value, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and feel free to check out the TikTok page and the X or Twitter, whatever you guys know, down below at Stas Talk Stocks, or just go to Stas Surf Fest. You'll find me on there. And with that being said, guys, cheers. Holy smokes, this thing is heavy, guys. And yeah, let's dive into it. So Apple reported earnings, like everybody and their grandma knows at this point, and their stock shot up 6% on the day. It closed at $183 per share, and now we're officially up almost $20 from the low, which you guys probably know. We hit $164 about, a week, 2 weeks ago, and that was where we held, fun fact, back in October as well, so that's good that Apple held that point. And now we're up again about $20 or roughly 12% off that low. And you guys can see what could have been a descending triangle, which if that played out, that would have been terrible for the bulls. So what could have been a descending triangle, well, it broke out to the upside, guys, which is a really, really good sign. And now Apple, based on today's trading, today's breakout post earnings, we are now trading at almost a 2-month high. Actually, no, over a 2-month high, guys. Last time we were in the low mid 180s was back in the middle of May. So, not May, excuse me, February. Now it's May. Middle of May didn't even happen yet, guys. But about 2.5 months ago is where we hit, the last time we were in this level. So, yeah, we're breaking out for sure right now on Apple, up over $10 on the day. And let me draw some other levels here to give you all a visual. We're also trading above the highs from the middle of October, and now we're actually approaching the highs from, when was this? Beginning of September, right around $190 per share. That's where we're trading right now. We're in this window right now, right here. You guys can see that, right? So let me show you all the numbers, which, again, this might be a bit late. It is what it is. I'm sure a lot of you guys already saw their earnings, but let's take a look together and talk a little bit about what's going on, my opinions, perspectives, all that good stuff. So you guys can see right here, Apple announces the largest ever $110 billion share buyback, as of course the iPhone sales dropped 10%, which you guys probably have heard of that by now. We'll talk about that here in the video, guys, but for some reason this is not letting me make my face smaller. What's going on today, guys? Either way, let's go through this. Give me a second. There we go, guys. I'll put my face down here, make it a bit smaller. There we go. So you guys can see if I just come right here and zoom in a little bit, EPS came in at $1.53, which that beat the $1.50 expected, and revenue also beat $90.75 billion versus $90.01 billion expected. And iPhone revenue slightly missed, which you guys probably expected that. Everybody expected that, right? $45.96 billion versus $46 billion. Well, maybe not everybody expected they were going to miss, but pretty much everybody expected that the iPhone sales were going to be a bit weak. I think they're down like 10% year over year, something like that. So iPhone revenue missed. Mac revenue beat, though, $7.5 billion versus $6.86 billion expected. iPad revenue missed, $5.6 versus $5.91 billion, and they actually haven't released a new iPad since 2022, so that's probably why revenue, well, it is, let's be honest, it's slacking a bit there. On the iPad side of things, looks like other products revenue 7.9 versus 8.08 billion. That missed. Services revenue beat, though, 23.9 billion versus 23.27 billion, and the gross margin came in right in line at 46.6%. You guys can see right there. So it looks like here, analysts were expecting. Let's see. Actually, no, never mind, guys. We already talked about the analyst for revenue. Let's see here. Looks like there's Tim Cook, all happy. Here we go. Apple said iPhone sales fell nearly 10% to 45.96 billion, suggesting weak demand for the current generation of smartphones, which I have the 15 Pro Max, It's the same thing pretty much as the 14, guys. It is what it is. Sure, it's got the titanium, maybe some, little subtle changes, but yeah, pretty much the same thing. And the sales were in line with the estimates, as we just said, and Mac sales were up about 4% year over year, which I'm actually really excited about the new MacBook Air models. Have you guys seen those? They're freaking beautiful, guys. They're awesome. It's almost better than this MacBook Pro I have, which it is. I mean, I got this like 3 years ago. It's got the M1 chip, but these new MacBook Air models have the upgraded M3 chip in March. Those were, that's when those were released. Which is crazy, and I'm sure you guys have seen them in the Apple Store. The new Macs, the MacBook Airs rather, they're awesome. Looks like AirPod. Let's see here. Apple reports sales of its Apple Watch and AirPods headphones down 10% year over year. Okay, and of course during the quarter, Apple released its first major product in years, the Vision Pro, which we talked about. And I think how many did they sell in the first week? Was it like 300,000 units or something like that? I forget exactly. Who knows how many of those were returned. But yeah, that $3,500 device is expected to sell in low quantities, obviously, especially compared to Apple's major product lines, which makes sense. And let's come down a little bit more here, guys. Sales in Greater China, Apple's third largest region, were off 8% to $16.37 billion in revenue, which was significantly better, believe it or not, than the $15.25 billion expected by the analysts. So even though sales were struggling in China year over year, they came in over $1 billion higher than the analysts were expecting, which is good. And it looks like here Tim Cook said, quote, "I feel good about China. I think more about long term than to the next week or so." Well, yeah, of course. I mean, he's the CEO. He should be thinking about that. Let's see here. In addition to the buyback authorization, Apple said it would pay a 25-cent dividend, a whopping 1 cent increase, guys. So yeah, that's Apple's earnings. Nothing too crazy, honestly. But I guess the record $110 billion buyback is one of the crazier things, as iPhone sales again went down 10%, which I guess that's pretty crazy as well. But overall, guys, the buyback, which they've been doing this for a while, $100 billion buyback, $90 billion buyback, they're just buying back their own stock. Essentially, that's what they're doing, and that takes shares off the market. So it decreases the outstanding shares, the total outstanding shares out there. So theoretically, it's supposed to make the stock or the shares out there that exist more valuable. Theoretically, that's what it does. It also, I mean, there's a lot of things that it does, right? It boosts EPS, right? It helps set a floor for the stock, quote unquote. That's what a lot of people say. And of course, Buffett owns 50% of his portfolio in Apple, or 50% of his portfolio is in Apple. So I'm sure he loves the buybacks, obviously. But yeah, I mean, look, they're doing a $110 billion buyback, which means really there's not much they can use that money for elsewhere, really. I mean, why can't they take that money instead of buying back the stock and maybe using it in research and development or something like that, or launching a new product? I don't know, guys, you know what I mean? But I guess it's better used to buy the stock back, which I don't know. I don't really love that per se. I'm not an Apple shareholder right now. I used to own a ton of it. I actually got rid of it recently. But guys, you all know we all own Apple through ETFs. I mean, we all own it whether we want to or not. So, I mean, yeah, I guess that's another reason why I sold out of it individually, because of how big of a company it already is and how much of a weighting it already has. That's pretty much it, guys. They beat EPS, beat revenue. iPhone sales are weak. iPad sales are weak. Mac sales are strong, which I'm not surprised. I mean, I think they're going to get even better with that new MacBook Air that launched with the M3 chip. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to hit the like button. Of course, subscribe. Check out the Patreon as well if you guys want to see me build out my $100 per week portfolio, which I've been doing that for about a year and 2 months now, something like that. So check it out. You get all the moves in there, full transparency, and the returns, which we're crushing it this year, guys. We're crushing it in that portfolio. So check it out. Link down below. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you later.